Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Vindication with the Colossus, with your co-host Kuba Koncevic, also host of Next Gen Teen Bodybuilding Podcast and the voice of Irish Junior Bodybuilding. And today we have Owen, who's also a co-host. If you want to intro yourself.
Hey everyone, my name is Owen. I am a bodybuilder, obviously, hence I'm on the podcast. I have been in and out of the scene for a manner of years now. I would say um, I
Over a
used to
decade for
go,
sure.
yeah, in and out for over a decade now. I started competing when I was 18, which would have been in 2013. So yeah, 12 years ago now. Well, actually, it's going to be
You,
13
you,
years ago
you
now.
could have you could have came and done the junior segment with me if only you were if it was 7 years ago.
Exactly, exactly. But yeah, no, I used to. If people probably don't know who I am, who are kind of in the like the newer generation. I used to run a bit of a podcast myself back in the COVID times where I was recording and interviewing old school guys. So I have about 30 episodes up. It's called Irish Iron. The YouTube is still up. I just haven't uploaded to it, but there's some good interviews on there. But it's about 4 years out of date now. Yeah,
Yeah, so check it out, everyone, if you're interested in hearing about the, I guess, the OGs of the Irish bodybuilding.
that's it
Anyway,
exactly. So
anyway, this segment will just be me and Owen for this week is all, but we'll have guests. We'll have guests, and we'll try to run it every Friday if we can. But
absolutely.
for today, just shooting the shit, updates about life, and we'll run a Q&A at the end. That's basically the gist
Yeah,
of
we got some questions in. So
Yeah, we
anyway,
got some
so
juicy ones actually, some good ones.
yeah, not too bad.
We'll
So
just
what
get into
will
them.
so yeah, so obviously first, obviously you got to. So I suppose even look, I suppose people want to know how we met. I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure. We met at the Dublin muscle contest at the RDS. That
Yeah,
was the first time we
yeah,
met. We spoke in person. It was Steve
yeah,
actually introduced us. I think you were
yeah. I
chatting with
remember.
Steve, and I came up.
Yeah, yeah. Because I remember I only was going to go up to the show. Um, I honestly, I'll straight up like yeah, we met there in person. I remember, and we kind of had a good chat, and
Yeah,
obviously kind of kept in touch from there. Once we realized, oh, we're going to be doing the same show. Once I jumped on board the team, but were you working with Steve at that point, or were you kind of
yeah.
not?
I was working with Steve for like it must have been about 2 weeks at that point.
Okay, brilliant.
Or
Yeah,
about a
yeah,
week and
because
a half. So I was still fresh to the team at that point.
yeah,
We
yeah.
didn't
I mean, the
really,
team has grown. The team has grown so much in the
oh
past,
yeah,
4 months. Like, how many new
yeah.
additions? I think about 10 new people.
Especially after the fall shows.
Yeah, yeah,
The
absolutely,
team,
absolutely.
great to see. But
But
yeah, so,
yeah,
me and Owen, we basically, yeah, once we started the prep, we were chatting for a bit over Instagram, and then we decided to uh, sort the accommodation for the shows together. So we stayed together in Derry for the PCAs.
yeah,
And Limerick at the muscle contest. So that was great. It was good for
yeah, it
me
was good
to have
fun.
some other experience that done it before.
Yeah, the thing
I'm
is,
not
it's funny.
nervous.
Like, yeah. So obviously, like, I suppose it'll actually go into some of the questions, but with like, I don't want to dig too deep into it, but I think Steve asked us like, how was your first prep and how
Yeah,
was my comeback?
yeah,
But yeah, so obviously that's one we can answer in a bit. But yeah, it was good crack. I mean, like obviously, road trip up to Derry. We registered. We met. It was nice meeting a few of the guys there that we kind of talked to. I mean, like there
yeah.
was Neil Rennie.
The Steve had a big team at the PCAs as well.
Yeah, there was
And
a
I
few
suppose that
people.
was the first time I saw a few of the guys like Richie and Ola, who I'm sure will be guests with us in the future at some point,
100%.
hopefully.
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
I,
But it was
yeah,
nice. It
100%.
was nice to meet and chat to them in person, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like it's weird for me because, like, obviously I've been in the scene competing for a long. Like, my last show was in 2019, but before that it was like 2013, 2017, and 2019. So it was like there was a 4 year gap, but I was still going to shows. I was still in touch with people,
Yeah,
and then obviously between 17 and 19, that it was actually the tail end of 2017, and then the start of 2019. So it was 1 year of an off season. So I was still training with all the guys, but then in COVID, I just lost complete touch once I moved out to the Midlands with everybody. So
hmm
yeah, it's a completely new scene now. Like all the
yeah,
guys I competed with are in different divisions or they've kind of stopped or
yeah. A lot of them
yeah,
either retired, started families, businesses,
yeah,
you know, kind of
exactly, exactly.
changed their lifestyles. But
And then a few
it's
turned
good to
pro.
see the guys still going though that were there with you back, you know, in your day.
Yeah, I mean, look, as I say, like I competed with people would recognize a few of the names, I'm sure, like Giovanni Amica. As a junior, me and him competed together. I bet him the first showing, and then he bet me the second showing a
He's
couple
a
of weeks
pro now, by
after.
the way,
But
guys. He's a pro.
yeah, that's what I'm getting at. So like I bet one. Look, he's a genetically gifted specimen. He's over in Spain now doing his thing. But yeah, we trained together for like every week for a year.
Yeah. Awesome.
I would say in 2018, and we kind of had some good sessions. Shane Cullen would have been another guy I used to train with a fair bit.
The OG of the industry for sure.
Yeah,
Great
exactly.
athlete.
And then a few lads. So obviously, like the guy like Vinny Crane would have been like somebody I kind of looked up to. He was the original Classic Physique Pro from 2017. He just came back.
We can throw Darren Farrell into the mix as well.
Yeah, Darren Farrell. I wouldn't have actually met him in person. That's the thing. So all these guys I would have known in person. I think Darren is great, but yeah, I never met him in person. So all these guys, yeah, when I stopped, they kind of all went on and did these great things. And I kind of going into May, I kind of look. I was training on and off like ever since I moved out of home into the Midlands, and I kind of had I had a kind of decent run for maybe 8 months working with Connor McGee. It wasn't anything due to him that he did wrong or anything. It was just like things didn't align right.
Yeah.
So I did step away from training for like I'd say a good 5 months at that point. So it's once a week, twice a week, maybe 4 times a week. Taking a couple of shots of test here or there, it wasn't like a structured plan. So I walked into the muscle contest in May, and I remember it was like a sloppy 82 or 83 kilo, and I was just like, fuck, look at all these guys. Like, how am I going to pull it together to ever kind of compete? Because I knew if I didn't get back into it, I'd probably stop, full stop.
Yeah.
So obviously I chatted with Steve. I saw the guys like on the team who were competing. Ian looked really good. He had just done his comeback, so I was kind of like, if he can do it,
Yeah, it lit a
uh,
fire in you per se.
yeah, yeah. And I saw the guys, and then yeah. I mean, how did you find like obviously, like I'm curious. Like obviously, you got into it a little differently to me. Like your partner competed, so obviously anyone who knows like Cuba knows
Yes.
that his fiance
Megan.
his fiance
So
competes,
she
and
did
she
the
competed
spring
full
run of
time.
shoes. So she did the PCAs and the muscle contest in springtime.
Yeah, and
And I was
she
actually
did very
supposed
well.
I was supposed to do those shows with her. I wasn't with Steve at the time though, I was with a different coach. But my mental wasn't right back then. I just couldn't get into the prep.
Yeah.
It's something that I struggled with and I've overcome. But I
Did you
just
find that
put
was more down to your chemistry, like with the coach, like obviously beforehand, or maybe it was just like your own kind of
yeah,
situation?
some things that I didn't necessarily think were, you know, necessary to kind of give, like the how many shits a day I'm taking, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
All the mad stuff.
kind of data that's not needed, and it kind of overwhelmed me a little bit.
Yeah,
No disrespect
yeah,
to him though, he's a great coach. The training plan, everything was fine. Uh, it's just, I don't know, since starting with Steve, it lit a big fire in me to kind of get this prep finished for the fall shows and actually enjoy
Yeah,
it and take it a day at a time. That was the big thing for me. I was like just focused on get the day done. I didn't look too much into the future, you know. I
yeah,
just wanted to make sure that I did everything on this day that would be necessary to do, whether it be food, cardio, steps, managing everything. And
yeah.
that, I suppose that's what helped me a lot. And it wasn't overwhelming because, look, Steve doesn't require much from you. You just tell him how you're getting on and he adapts to you. You don't have to adapt to him too much,
Yeah.
which
Like
is
there's some
ideal.
days, there's some
It's
weeks where I
ideal
wouldn't
for
talk
busy
to him.
athletes, especially.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm sure there's some weeks like where you would talk to him a little bit and I would talk to him a little bit. But then there's some weeks where I'd text him every day with something like it's not something like it's a prerequisite as long as you're doing your good check-ins and I look, he knows me. Like I very much like when I get busy with work, I just do not go near my phone. Like it's not like a personal thing. It's just like genuinely, I leave. Like I was telling the client of mine earlier, like, Owen, do you not worry about leaving your phone out on the floor? Because what happened was I walked off, left it on the machine,
Mhm.
didn't think about it. She mentioned it. I was like, look, I've done this about 3 times this week already. It's going to be exactly where I left it in about 3 hours, even if I forgot about it for 3 hours with clients. But yeah, so I just genuinely don't get back to people in time sometimes. But like during prep, I was hammering the guy with like questions every day at some point, you know?
Yeah,
So
but
yeah,
it's different as in, look, a prep and a off season, they're totally different requirements. I mean, if you're in a prep, you need that sort of quick reply, and you need to make sure that your coach will be there to actually reply to you like relatively quickly,
100%. And I suppose like as a young guy, like my I'm curious to know your take on this because when I came into competing, right, like I was quite young and I look, I wanted to win, sure, but I didn't have like much of a notion as to what I was really doing. I was very much getting guided by people at that point and learning on the go. But you kind of jumped into competing, skipping the bullshit. You got a good coach, and you kind of went into a good, really good contest season. So like, what would like you started winning from the get-go? So like, did that kind of how did you think it was going to go as well as you did?
I thought it went, I'll be honest, it went better than I expected.
Hmm.
But the thing is that I did that a lot of young fellas nowadays miss is I took my time to build up and I took my time to educate. I didn't step on stage at 65 kg. I stepped on stage at 105.
Yeah, you were training for a few
I
years.
I I took my time with it. I mean, what's the rush? You know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like for people watching, like I suppose how like when like even just for reference, I mean, you were natural up until like what last year,
Up
right? Or
until
am I wrong?
yeah, up until April of last year. And that was
Yeah,
just,
so
to be
that's
honest,
crazy.
from April to kind of December, I was just running 300 tests. That was basically the gist of it. 300 tests. Some oral sprinkled here and there. I did a tidy up around the fall of 2024. I dropped like, must have been 10 or 11 kg just to kind of tidy
Yeah,
it up before I pushed up again. So I used some,
yeah,
some mild stuff. I was just taking like Anavar and stuff like that. But I kind of, even before I started the enhancement, I knew a lot about it. I made sure
yeah,
to educate before I, decided to
yeah,
venture into that part
yeah.
of the
I'll,
bodybuilding.
it's such a very it's you know it's funny. It's like I tell people this, like internet and social media is great in that sense. Like everything is there. So you can find legitimate information if you know where to look and you kind of have
Yeah. The
the
big thing
comprehension.
is though knowing where to look and finding reputable people to listen to.
Exactly, exactly. And I suppose being able to get in touch with people who know what they're doing as well, it
Yeah.
was a lot harder. Like, I'll tell you straight up, like, I remember buying Anavar. My plan was when I turn 18 on the 3rd of October, I'm going to go to Dublin. I'm not going to say who with, but like, I remember we got the dart into Dublin. Um, I met a guy in the city centre,
Mm,
picked up one thing of Anavar and one bottle of Tess. And I ran the Anavar first,
mm,
and then I came off, I think, for 4 weeks after that. That was for 10 weeks. And then I did 500 milligrams of test
yeah.
for, I believe it was 12 weeks. And the gains weren't like exponential or anything. Like I like the diet probably wasn't on track. Like I was very young. I look, the only reason I hopped on at 18 was because there was no untested, like 2013 was the first year of the natural shows. And to
Right.
be honest, I didn't know about it. So I was kind of like, I had the choice. I remember I was off everything. And I remember the first prep kind of, the time came around. I was like, I could do the natural ones, or I can jump back on and actually give this a shot. And yeah, I did. I was doing landscaping work at the time, and that kind of paid for it all. And then I was in college after that, and I competed through college. Definitely affected my college,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, it would be
But
hard to
yeah,
know both for
dude,
sure.
the education. But where I'm getting at is the education was not like I did not do the research as much. I learned on the go. And look, it's a blessing that like genetically my body is a tolerator for these things. Like my bloods generally always come back quite okay.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, like you tell me 300 milligrams of test, and I see the size you put on, obviously over the past while, and in person as well. So, and you've not touched the surface of anything. Like I ran close
Yeah.
to 2 grams of gear at one point, during the off seasons as a junior.
Yeah.
Like 800 milligrams of Deca, 500 test. I think it was 100 milligrams of Anadrol, a ton of peptides,
Mm.
and IGF-1. I tried it all, um, but for people watching, I'm not as big as Cuba in terms of like frame, obviously. So, what are you weighing now? 117 or
I
something?
I think I'm hovering around 115 at the minute.
Yeah, yeah, 115. So that's big weight, I mean, you competed at 105,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but it's a nice way in terms of I feel good, I feel strong, but it's also manageable to cut back when the time comes.
Yeah.
It's not
What
going to
did
be
you
a
weigh when
massive
you
look, it's not
Yeah,
going to
no,
be
exactly.
a long prep if I only have to pull off, Well, I was talking to
And for
Steve
people,
yesterday. Steve is saying I'm actually going to come in at the cap for the next shows. So
brilliant,
I guess the
brilliant.
plan is to come in at 108 and a half on the dot.
Yeah, sure. We were saying that last time in the gym. We were training the other day. I said, even if you could come in around a few kilos heavier or the same weight, just a better composition, you'd be in a
Yeah.
great place. So, but yeah, no, I mean, how much did you weigh though before you started, taking a bit of stuff? Because I want people to hear this. Like, look, it obviously wasn't like it wasn't like how big was it? Because obviously some people do get that initial kind of newbie gain phase with the drugs, but some
Yeah.
people don't. Um,
I think I was yeah, in April of last year, I must have been around 90 or 91.
okay, yeah, yeah,
It was a
and then
lean
obviously it went
91
up.
though. It was about, if I were to guess, I was probably around 10 or 11% body fat. So
Okay,
it
yeah,
was
yeah,
lean 91, 90 to
yeah.
91.
But then you went up. What did you bulk up to?
So I went up to, yeah, in the few months after starting, I think by August time I was at about 108. So it was, yeah, it
Okay,
was a lot. It was about,
that's
fuck yeah,
18. That's a good kind of
17 kilos, I
20.
guess.
Yeah, but that's like that being said though, and for people to reference this, like that's for your height. that's pretty much what I would expect, right? Like you kind of would lose and gain in quicker kind of not quicker, but larger chunks. Like
Yeah,
even
for
water
sure.
where, I'd say like you'd probably like piss out a little, you'd probably lose a bit of weight in the night, right?
Yeah, for
More
sure.
so, yeah. So like for people listening, like the guy did the research, but then you got up there, and then obviously from that point, um,
Yeah, so I got
when
up
did
to 108 and then I cut it back down to about 98. But then from
Jesus, okay,
98, I did a big push, and it did get sloppy towards the end. So I pushed with I topped out at 123
okay,
on the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
98. And 123 was the start of the prep.
okay,
Yeah. So we basically from the start of the prep to the end we stripped, yeah, 18 kilo, give or take.
yeah. That's not too bad at all. I mean, I actually looking back, I remember as a junior, I only lost like I say this now, I could have definitely lost more, but I would lose on average around 15 kilos, and for some reason, I had a mental gap in my head. I was like, once I got to 6 weeks out. I
Mhm.
would kind of not like consciously self-sabotage, but I definitely would stop pushing as hard. I would kind of worry about the scales. Did
Yeah.
you worry, well, like when you were 123 and you came down to 105, um, were you concerned at all, or were you kind of just like, I mean, I'm happy with the look, just, let's keep going?
Yeah, I would say up until from 123 to 112, it was a pretty smooth ride
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
way down. From 112, I could start feeling it.
yeah.
And by feeling it, I mean the fatigue and the hunger and a little bit of strength loss. But to be honest, Owen, I only really lost a little bit of strength in the last 3 weeks of the prep for the dairy show.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't, I didn't think it was bad. I actually did get stronger on some stuff too. Like I
Yeah.
remember
Um,
I got a good bit stronger on some of my rows and kind of pull downs, a few leg exercises. The pressing was the one that took the biggest hit for me. So kind
yeah,
of shoulder presses, chest presses. But those are bound to kind of drop first, I think, for most. So
yeah. I definitely found like I've done multiple preps, so like it depended. Like, I mean, usually. I mean, this could lead into some of the questions, actually. Do you want to get into some of the questions?
yeah, for sure. I
Yeah,
got
and I think I
um,
WhatsApped them all to you as well. So whatever you have there.
I got a few from the story I put up today or yesterday, I think. Yeah, yesterday. Let's see. Okay. Oh, this one's from Ola. Uh, your top five physiques of all time. I'll let you start with this
Okay.
one. I'm guessing it can
Right.
be any division. You can
Yeah,
kind
so
of
it's
pick
just
and
full
choose.
stop. Yeah, I suppose like, geez, I don't know, Lee Priest would be up there. Like, I mean, that's a
Okay.
shorter physique. He was always somebody I kind of looked up to with the arms and the forearms.
One of your kind of inspirations because he shared that similar kind of stature.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, he had the freaky kind of forearms and stuff. Like, I've always had like big forearms. So I kind of was like, yeah, he's phenomenal. He was a great teen. So obviously, when I was 18, 17, I was watching his YouTubes and I was just like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Kevin Lebroni would be up there. I met him in person in 2015.
Hmm.
I used to have him as a screensaver on my tablet in college. And
Nice.
yeah, it was quite funny because like no one competed. You have to understand, like back now, gym is cool, right? Like competing
Mm.
is cool. People are like coming up like, oh, C-bomb. Nobody knew what bodybuilding was. So yeah, I had a picture of Lebroni on my like laptop and
Sad.
in the computer back then. But
But speaking of the no one
after,
really went to gyms, I actually felt that way around the 2018 kind of time period when I started going. Like it was still even niche back then.
yeah,
It wasn't niche, but it wasn't as popular as it is now,
no, I
for
think
sure.
social media and COVID kind of exposed people to a lot of people. So obviously now people want to kind of do things, but um, my
Okay, so
other bodybuilder would
Priest and Levrone, so three more.
yeah, yeah. So I'd say Jay Cutler.
Okay.
Uh, I always like Jay's videos. I've watched all of his DVDs, and I just thought like I don't know, like his personality and his story and his whole like I liked his the mask he carried. Like I'll never be like that, right? But like he was a freak. Ronnie Coleman would be up there, obviously. But like he's not one of my favorite physiques. Like he's definitely one of the best, but he's not one of my favorites.
Yeah, just
So
work ethic wise and training maybe.
yeah,
Some
no, I love like look, like I would have to say, trying to think now. Flex Lewis would be up there for sure.
oh,
Shorter bodybuilder, 212 King,
yeah.
and then for number five. Jesus. I mean, that's basically it. Like I used to just follow those guys, and then there was a few other like modern guys like Rolly Winkler, I guess.
Oh yeah, great
Um,
triceps, great arms.
yeah, like I loved all the guys with the arms because I have good arms, but
Mm.
and that were kind of short. So you kind of always look at people that you kind of resemble, right? Like who would your five favorite physiques be?
So I don't really, thing is, I don't really like anyone in the modern era, like right now.
Yeah,
In the open,
okay,
that is. Like I wouldn't
yeah,
really like look at them and say, wow, that's fucking well, yeah, they look crazy, but it's not like as mind blowing to me as the 90s and the early kind of mid 2000s guys. So I can tell
yeah.
you for sure, number five, give or take, Sean Ray, for sure.
hmm He was
Because
phenomenal.
everything was balanced, it was conditioned, it was symmetrical, the posing was elegant, he always brought condition, he never missed. He was consistent. And then number four, I gotta go with Big Ramy, I think.
Okay, yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
love Ramy. And I'm really excited that he might be coming back next year.
Yeah, I
I,
remember him
uh,
like because when I started competing, he was like YouTube was kind of kicking in
mm.
2013. Like, and I remember seeing videos of him at New York. There's a funny clip of
That's my
him.
favorite physique of his, the New York Pro
Yeah, yeah.
2013.
There's a hilarious clip of him in 2014 when he won it again.
Mm.
And Juan Morel is about to hit most muscular beside him, and he just looks at Ramy and he just shakes his head and just walks off. Like he just like it's in the pose down. He just walks away from him. Like
Oh,
obviously having a bit of fun with the guy.
yeah.
But yeah, who else? Because he's great. I think I'd rate him in
Yeah,
my kind of more
I
modern
loved
ones.
Remy. I think my number three is gonna be an underrated one. I'm gonna say Dennis Wolf.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. People
Just for
people
the
need to.
pure just for the pure reason I loved his Arnold classic looks the most. I think he brought his best to the Arnold classics, but also because of his frame and I can resonate with it. Because we're the same height. We both kind of have the same strengths and weaknesses. He's obviously a lot bigger,
Yeah.
way bigger than me. But
Yes, he's very like no, he'd be very similar to you if you kind of got when you get bigger, possibly.
yeah, if I got to open size, I feel like I would resemble somewhat his kind of structure a little bit. But yeah, he was just my one of my favorites just because of kind of seeing him and knowing that maybe one day I could actually look close to that.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
the goal in
And
the
then
future.
yeah, no, he's a great physique. But who'd be your top?
Yeah, so top two. To be honest, I think I gotta go with a classic guy for top two. And I think I'm gonna
Yeah,
go with the new kid on the block, Niall Darwin.
yeah, yeah,
Fucking brilliant this season.
phenomenal. Yeah, he's so bubbly and round, but he's very good, very conditioned.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
think right now in classic he kind of has the highest ceiling to go far because he's still so young compared to
yeah.
like
How old
me,
is he?
Mike
Is he
and
like
the
in his
other
is
guys.
he in his 20s? Do you know, or is he in his like 30s?
He's only about 26.
Oh, he's a young dude. Yeah,
He got
phenomenal.
another decade in him, man. Another
Yeah.
13, 14 years.
And who would your top number one guy be?
Ah, this is tough because I have like two that can go in the top. But oh, this one's tough. I think I gotta go with Flex Wheeler. Early
Yeah, I
90s.
mean, and he would be one of the kind of he'd be a classic guy. Like if back then he would have kind of made the cap even.
I think he
So
I think like the 92, 93 Flex would have made the cap for Classic. And if he would have, he
100%.
would have won for sure.
Yeah. And who was the second guy that you would have put in there if you didn't pick him?
So the
Who's
second
the
was actually
second
from
guy?
Open. The second was I was gonna say again it was another guy from the 90s. Oh no, not from the 90s, from the 2000s. I was gonna say Gunter.
Yeah, okay, I
I
can I
just I
can I
really
get that.
liked for some reason I just liked his whole persona, not even the physique wise, but he was always so like he just made it
Chill.
look fun on stage.
Mm.
But he
Yeah,
had,
people love him.
I think he deserved to win the O2 Olympia because Ronnie was really off that year. And
I
like
don't
when
think
they
he should have
announced,
won it, but he bet him the next week, or whatever. It was the
yeah,
month after the show, and he did beat him.
yeah,
So yeah, he got like he was the one guy to beat Ronnie Coleman in his run as Mr. Olympia,
yeah,
which is insane.
yeah, it's crazy. He always had great body parts though. I mean, his arms and his kind of, his most muscular, his front lat, they were all great for him. He had a few
Yeah.
weaknesses, but I think just structure and stature wise, he was a powerhouse, you could say.
Oh, he was phenomenal. Like I suppose trying to think. I mean, like even with the modern guys, like now it's tough for me to pick a guy who I really like because there's so many good guys.
Hmm.
But like I like Samson. I kind of wish Samson. I wanted him to win this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he could win
See,
it this year though because
I,
next year. I
I,
mean,
I think in the modern day, their physiques change so much year to year. But I'm not saying they change for the better. They just like, I don't know what it is, but they like some body parts year to year can look completely different, for better or worse. And an example of
yeah,
that I would give is Derek's arms.
yeah, it's a weird one because like I'm like, what is he using something in the arms or
Hmm.
my theory on this is this, and Mike Van Wyck said this, right? He probably doesn't connect with his biceps too well when he's training. Like imagine, like he's a big dude, he's 5'6", he's probably
Yeah.
like what, like 270 in the off season.
Oh yeah.
He could simply just not have the flexion to like contract the bicep in certain movements, or he swings it like. But his triceps are big. It's just his biceps. There's nothing going on there.
Yeah.
Like you go back to Phil Heath, right? And he had phenomenal arms. You go back to like Cutler, his arms were decent. Um, I'm trying to think like who's like Samson. As much as I like Samson, like his arms, they're not the most detailed. They're big, but they're not the most
Yeah.
detailed.
Yeah. He doesn't have that kind of bicep tricep
Yeah,
separation as they did back in
even
the
with
day.
Sean Roden. I remember actually I saw Sean Roden pose in person. He was another phenomenal Mr. Olympia who never got to defend his title. So he had good arms. I mean, they weren't the best, but like even he had the definition and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just didn't want Derek to win. I kind of yeah, that was desperate. I
Yeah,
watched it live.
this year I was rooting for Hadi or Andrew. I think
Yeah,
I think to Samson, Andrew will be his biggest threat in a couple of
you
years'
think?
time.
I think
Just
Andrew
the
could
thing
win it.
is, the thing we gotta realize is this whole top six lineup is gonna change soon.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's
Because I
all
mean,
the
a
old
few
guys
of the
who are
guys are
gone.
pushing on now. I mean, Hadi's getting old, Samson's getting old.
Yeah,
Samson's
Hattie's like
nearly 40.
36. Yeah, and then you have like, well, Hattie's like in his late 30s now.
Yeah.
Or yeah, and then you have well, Derek's young enough.
Derek is okay for another few years. He's only
Yeah,
32.
you have Nick Walker, who personally I think. it's a weird one with Nick because when he's peaked really well, he's a top three guy.
Yeah,
But when he's not peaked, it's kind of just like fuck. And like,
yeah,
look, I like Nick. Like I like him as I just like the mass. I respect anyone who can kind of put on that size, and
yeah,
he presents what he presents really well when he does it really well. And he's coaching himself for the Arnolds this year,
yeah.
next year. So yeah, let's go into another question. What else do we have there?
Oh yeah, sure. I'll do mine first because I got about three, I think.
Yeah,
Uh,
cool.
okay, let's see. This one's from Ian, Ian Byrne. Shout
Cool.
out. Where do you both see yourself in 5 years' time in relation to bodybuilding?
Fuck.
I can start
I'll
with
let
the
you go first. I'll let you go first on this one because
yeah,
you're
so
quite new to it.
okay, I'll start. Um, yeah, so the next 5 years, I suppose yeah, so next season, so that's next year, so that's one of the 5 years. So next
Mhm.
season, I think the plan is actually I'll talk about my plan for next year because I'm pretty sure I know it now after chatting to Steve yesterday.
Yeah.
So I'll be commencing my season with a starting my season next year with the Mr. Big Evolution in Portugal at the end of
Okay.
April. So the
Oh
26th.
wow. So you're actually starting quite soon, man.
Yeah,
Um.
about
Yeah.
16 weeks, give or take.
Yeah. So when do you start your actual prep for that?
I'm sure I will find out
Yeah.
over the
So
next week or so. I don't think for another week or so, more
cool.
than likely. Probably around after the Christmas
What other
period.
shows are in the pipeline?
Yeah, so I'll be commencing with the
Definitely. And
Mr. Big. So the Mr. Big in the end
Okay,
of
cool.
April, and then we're going straight into the Dublin show. So
Oh,
the
deadly. So you're not going to be doing NABA or anything.
I don't
You'll
think
do
so. I don't think
internationals
so.
and then go from there.
I
Okay.
think I
Okay.
think it'll be
Deadly.
the Mr. Big to start. So I'll be doing just my class in that one, the pro qualifier. So it'll be Class D and Classic. And then the Dublin show, I'm gonna do juniors in the regional in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna do my class in the pro qualifier
Did,
again.
did he say if we have to do the regional or not?
The
Because like,
regional you only have to do if you're planning to do a show
oh, after October.
well, you're gonna have to do a regional for Dublin if your first
Oh,
show is Dublin.
so the regional we did in October doesn't carry us until like
No,
that
the
show.
the one at the end of September in Limerick, that's the regional resets with each show in Ireland.
That's yeah.
So
That's rough.
basically, the regional you got in Limerick will reset with the May show
It's like every 8 months thing you have to do regional.
in
If you're
Ireland.
doing like yeah, if you're kind of doing continuous shows. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping to coast in there, just do the pro qualifier, but yeah,
Yeah,
that would be a 2 day event, man.
unless
But
you
yeah, carry on.
unless
Yeah.
you decided to do a pro qualifier in
Oh no,
April,
like
I
you could
suppose.
do, as you said, you could do the bit, as you said, you're doing the Mr. Big, so you can go straight into that because that's
Yeah, no
before.
regional needed for that one because
Yeah, yeah,
it'll be about 2 weeks before 3 weeks before the muscle contest.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
What else would you be doing after the Dublin show?
Yeah, so actually after the Dublin show, we'll be taking a few months of a health phase, so like 2 or 3 months. And
Yeah,
then I think the plan is to do one or two August shows and then wrap the season up with
okay.
that.
Yeah, so
So
you'll be done for the college term basically, which
yeah,
works out quite well.
yeah, it works well for
So,
me.
what did he say about you taking 3 years off from the shows? Was he
Yeah,
like,
exactly. He no, he's happy with that. Look, he knows he can grow me well into open.
yeah,
So
yeah,
he
no,
was
for
quite
sure.
happy with it. I think Steve's favorite category is open. So
It is. It is. Like he's an open bodybuilder for,
yeah,
you know what I mean? He's a big dude, so he
yeah,
needs to have a few open guys because I'm not an open guy. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, if they get rid of the 2-on-2, I'll do the open. But like um
yeah,
the only guy who would be open, well actually no, I what am I saying? He has Leighton and he has Akin at the minute, but
yeah,
seeing somebody grow into open, he hasn't done that quite yet. He hasn't
yeah,
grown
not
somebody.
yet. No, he
So
definitely
I
hasn't brought anyone from classic to open yet, I don't think.
no, no.
So
So
it'll be
all
a
the guys
fun
kind of
kind
come
of
into.
it'll be a fun process for both of us to
Yeah,
kind of do, you know.
that'll be interesting. I mean, like for my shows, like I suppose it'll be yeah, it could be different because to be fair, I did tell Stephen I want to do NABA
Hmm.
because the last time I did the NABA show, I came fourth out of four people. So I want to be. I've always wanted to be a NABA Mr. Ireland, like just to have it, honestly. So I would like to do that just for that, but that's
Look,
about it, really.
Owen, I think for the NABA you're gonna vindicate yourself
I'll have to
once again.
carry myself.
I think you got
I
this.
have to represent. Yeah, but we'll see what Steve says. I'm meeting up with him on Thursday, this coming week,
Oh,
so
I
we'll have
think,
a chat. And obviously, he did say on Monday we'll have a Zoom meeting thing, so
yeah,
he'll probably bring this then. And like, I'd say what he'll probably do is see if a group like I wouldn't be too shocked if he says, "Do all of us want to do the Mr. Big?" And then he'll just book a room or something, or
yeah.
book a guy.
Well, originally I wanted to start with I was look, I was thinking FIBO was gonna be a fun show to do, but that's on the 12th, and I wouldn't be able to get those dates exactly off in work, so I just had to push it to the Portugal, which
Yeah.
I still think it'll be a great show to do. You know, it's
Did he say did he say anything about any of the other fellas joining up with us, or would it just be
no,
did he just kind of talk?
that'll be on Monday, so he let us
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
But
yeah, brilliant,
I
good
think
stuff.
a few would be interested in the Portugal show just because it's
I
not
can
a
understand,
really
yeah.
long time away from Dublin.
No, and yeah, I mean look, it's good for experience as well. Like to do that's a good show to miss the big and we get to watch the pro well, you'll get to watch the pro show.
Yeah. And you know who actually won the
So
pro show this year in Portugal?
who
Nick
was it?
Zilla.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it
yeah.
was Net
If he
Villa.
comes
Yeah,
back
yeah, yeah.
next year, that would be so fun to see in person.
So, oh, savage. So yeah, no, that's great. So obviously you have a good timeline and obviously it kind of gives you a bit of a gap as well to kind of improve into the second half of the year
Yeah, for sure.
because it's not in sooner. So no, that's really good. So a lot of
Yeah,
people burn out because they
I
do like
think with
five
the
shows
way
in a row.
I think with the way of us splitting the kind of four shows into two ways, I think my physique is going to be a lot different for the spring shows and then the fall shows. I think I'll
Yeah,
bring a lot more kind of density for the later shows, but it's
100%.
still going to be an improvement at the spring shows because obviously I'll bring a lot more size for those shows
100%.
compared to the season we just did.
Yeah. And I suppose a question that yeah, so yeah, no, absolutely that sounds right. I'm looking forward to seeing what you bring.
Right.
Um but what other question do you have? What's the third one?
Right. Wait, you didn't answer yours.
Oh, no, I don't know what shows I'm doing.
Wait, I need to answer mine still, finish mine. It was
Oh,
what's your goal for 5 years' time? So basically,
oh, Jesus Christ, these are going
sorry,
so bad
sorry, I
right
got
now.
carried
Yeah,
away
yeah,
with the season. I'll just
yeah.
finish my one
No,
real quick. So I'm
yeah,
doing
no,
next year. Next year, basically, my last season is in classic. Then
yeah,
I'm taking 3 years off just because I'm going away to study. So I'll be at that.
yeah.
So I'll just
Good
during
stuff.
that time I'll just do a big off season with a
Yeah,
few. I'll just push up and down a good few times over the 3 years. Try and get to 120, like in good condition. So I think it's realistic because that's about 12 kg of muscle in 3 years.
yeah, 100%.
It's not wild, you know. It's a lot, but
No, if you stick to it, if you stick to the gun,
yeah,
100%. So yeah, for me, it's a weird one, right? So If you had asked me when I was your age, I probably would have said, yeah, I'll be pro in like 3 years.
Mm.
When I was 18, I thought I was going to be a pro by the time I was 25. Now, it didn't help that I had people kind of blowing smoke up my ass in some form saying, oh, you'll be a 2-on-2 pro. And I'll be honest, I didn't know what I was doing as much as not that I didn't know, I just didn't do what I had to do to
Yeah.
kind of achieve it. So 5 years, I would like to, well, next year, as I said, like depending on what shows we pick, I'd like to win an overall title here in Ireland.
Mm.
I've won a class. I've been in three overalls now, and I'll be honest with you, we can go into Mr. Cork if you want. Um, um, I ended up in the middle of the last call out.
Mm.
Um, you know what that means? Like generally, if you're in the middle of the last call out, like I remember exactly how this went. So in all the other shows I
The
did,
judges
I
are
did
basically
like
comparing the guys next to you to yourself.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And obviously it was very different because in the shows we did, I competed against one person in the first show in my class. So, and I bet him, and he was like good bodybuilder, but like it was one person. And he wasn't at his best either, like he won the show 3 years prior, I believe.
Yeah.
And then the second one we did in Limerick, there was nobody in my class, so it was just straight to the overall.
Yeah.
But then this one I had to beat five guys. So I bet five guys. So I was actually really happy about that because it was a good competition.
Yeah. I mean, it's
And
great.
then
Big class.
yeah, and then in the overall, I was in the very last. They shuffled us around and they put me into the end at the very last call out. And yeah, apparently lost by a point or half a point. But I was like, they don't do half a points. Like the judge said to me, "Oh, you lost by half a point." I was like, "Well, you don't do half a points." But your man who won it, to be fair to him, like I watched the videos back. I was gassed to fuck. So I was posing like it was 5 p.m. at that point, man. We weighed in at 8 in the morning, for God's sake. Show started at
Yeah.
12. There was a
But a
gap.
late
We were
start
on stage at
or late
3.
match.
We were on stage at 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I filled up, gassed out. I wasn't holding in my stomach and stuff like during the comparisons at the very last thing, and he was kind of really tight holding his poses. So yeah, no, he looked great. Michael Grace, he looked great. He won his class. He won the FitX the week after, and then he
Yeah.
won the
I saw
Galway
that
show.
actually.
So I
Yeah.
mean, like,
Yeah.
he wasn't like
Mike
out of
Geary was
shape.
coaching him.
Like, but I'll be honest with you, like coming second in the overall, that kind of stung a little bit for about a couple of hours. I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit peed off. But you know, it is what it is, right? It's bodybuilding.
Look,
You
you
just
can
move on to the
only
next one.
you can't control the result, but you can control.
No, that's it. That's it. And the
Look,
look
you
was
can
really
you
good.
can
But
only improve and come back better and just hope
But
to
going,
get it
but
the next.
going into next year and my plans, like it shows me that my physique is still not quite there, where it's like a slam dunk. Like I'm able to fight for overalls, yes, but it's not a slam dunk that I'm winning them. You get what I'm saying? It's like sometimes when somebody walks on and you're just like, okay, that's his show. Everyone's
Yeah,
saw the
you
big
can tell
second.
you're just gonna smoke everyone for sure.
No. So like I knew my condition was going to be great because I well, not new, honestly. It just happened to be really good.
Yeah.
But going into next 5 years, I would like a bit of a growing phase. Absolutely, I
Mm.
need one. So if I can kind of get that size that the 2-on-2s have, I'd be delighted because then I could fight for a pro card. I'd love to fight for a pro card, but it's gonna take a few years to kind of get there.
Well, you're probably gonna 212 is that's probably around 95 kg, right?
Well, here's the thing, right? Like me and Steve were talking, it's like I would have to win a pro card at a show like the Amateur Olympia, where you
Mhm.
kind of win one if you win your class and then grow into the 2-on-2,
Right.
which is doable.
Yeah.
So, but the plan is this year coming is to get a top five call out in an international show and go
Mhm.
from there. That's literally what he said. Is just test yourself first
Yeah.
and see where
Well,
you
that's
go.
great. That's great. You're basically using the next season just to see what you're capable of. And
Yeah,
then
because
once once you
I'm not
find
in a
the level,
position where I
that's
can
improve
say
from
I
there.
can't say I'm going to be pro in a certain amount of time because I don't know, but this is all uncharted territory. Like I've never had a coach
Yeah.
for a show and then carried on.
Mm.
Usually I fall off the wagon. So yeah, like yeah, that's I suppose next I'll go just to say next year because I don't know what's gonna happen after next year,
Yeah.
honestly.
But
I
the
would
gist of
like
it,
to be a pro.
I suppose the gist of it for both is do the next season, take some time off to grow and come back.
Yeah, even if it's a case of like a pro card was won, we would still need to take time off to grow into that.
Yeah.
So it's not even like, yeah, so, but yeah, I suppose, do you have the questions I sent you on WhatsApp?
Yeah, I'll have a look there. I think we have
Because
one more that I got sent in.
yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, we have one more from Paul, and it's similar to Ola's. He just asked for like favorite physique of all time. So basically, I suppose one look from one person that you like the most out of anyone.
Jeez,
That's
I
a tough
don't
one.
know. Um, 2009 Jay Cutler,
Yeah, that's fair.
or Phil Heath in 20, like, there was 2 years where Phil Heath looked phenomenal. Like, I never thought he got the credit he deserved.
Mm,
Um, just because he was the first social media bodybuilder, he was kind of exposed a lot. Like didn't have like the pressure, kind of like he responded to people,
yeah.
but wasn't like Mr. Politically correct like you would have a go at you like.
Mm,
But but great physique.
yeah.
2011 when he won the Mr. Olympia,
Also,
I thought was
you would say
the best looking.
you prefer the 2011 over the slightly bigger, fuller 2013?
Yeah, I mean, like I thought, like they could, like I saw some videos, like other angled videos of stuff, like kind of looking at him side on, and
Yeah.
the 3D, like he looked like he was an action figure.
Oh, it was not.
And so, yeah, I would say him. I would say
Oh,
that. Yeah, Phil Heath. I'm gonna say Phil Heath 2011, 2011. That's mine.
yeah. No, that's brilliant. For
What about
me,
you?
I think since my favorite, Flex Wheeler, I think I gotta go
Yeah,
with the 93 Arnold's or I think it was the 95 Olympia.
yeah. I
It's
think
between those
the
two. I
93
can't
Arnold's
pick
was another
because
level.
I can't actually pick the winner because they're both so good. It's just ridiculous how good he was back in those days.
Yeah,
But I think
exactly.
what I think is the 93 version, if he did classic today, he'd win for the next decade. No one would touch him.
Yeah, if he stayed healthy. I mean, that was the one thing. Like, Fuad did an interview with Fuad Abiad did a real bodybuilding podcast with Flex there recently, and
Yeah.
obviously I knew he had the kidney disease, right? Like he had
Mm.
the degenerative one, but his he kind of said like Fuad said this, like, do you ever think that maybe your luck deteriorated as time went on because of your kidneys, and you just didn't know? And he said, yeah, probably because like flushing water as well. But early Flex would have, yeah, he was something else, man.
Yeah, it was a crazy look. Sure.
Yeah.
Right, I'll
So I
get
remember, I think I sent you, I think Paul sent in a couple, and then I know Steve sent in one, and then I think Megan sent in one, but we answered that actually
I
within
actually
5 years.
I have Ola again, and he said, "How did you get into bodybuilding?"
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's a great question. So I got into it indirectly, like a lot of people. Like I started training because I kind of get like it's weird, right? Like superheroes, like I'm a big comic book guy. Like I read
Mm.
comics all the time, like Marvel comics. So the Hulk is my favorite character.
Makes sense.
Where this goes is I was reading the comics
Yeah,
and I found out about the TV show with Lou Ferrigno. And then once I figured out who Lou Ferrigno was, I was like, he looks like I just was really kind of drawn in by the look, and I was like, how
Mhm.
can somebody look like that? And I always kind of used to sneak into gyms and train with the weights and leisure centers that my parents were members of and stuff like that. So I always had a fascination with it. Strongman, I used to watch a lot of Strongman, but definitely the superhero stuff. And that's literally how I got into it. I remember I was
So
15,
like
I joined the
Marvel
gym.
stuff, was it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, I still read it. I wanted to be a comic book artist when I was like in school. I didn't have the raw talent. Like, my parents' background is they're artists. So, um, where this is going is I kind of taught as bodybuilding as an art form. Like, you have to build the physique, right? By
Yeah.
putting in the work. And then obviously the appeal of the physique itself looking like a
Mm.
superhero.
Yeah.
And that's what got into it. But then competing, like when I discovered bodybuilding through like as I said, Lou Ferrigno, yeah, I was just like, oh, I want to do this. Like I joined a gym to compete. I joined the gym when I was 15. I said I want to compete at 18, and I did.
Yeah.
I was the fourth in the juniors, which was under 21 in the NABA show, the NABA Mr. Ireland in 2013, and I believe seventh in the RBBF the following week. And it was a little different back then. Um, People always say, "Oh, back in those days, the shows were stacked." It's like, yeah, because nobody else had, there was no other divisions, right? So this isn't a knock. This is a knock on me. So the top two or three guys would generally be really good, but
Mhm.
then the rest of the guys were not in shape. You can go back to my YouTube, type in like NABA Ireland Juniors 2013. You'll see like Dominic Villaggi who won. He was peeled. Adam, he's actually a member of Team Panda. Adam Lazaro.
Oh,
He came second. I'm gonna say.
yeah.
Gavin Byrne came third, and I was fourth. Everyone else wasn't really in shape after that. And I wasn't in shape. My legs were off. Like, I would have placed fucking dead last looking how I looked today, considering the shape the juniors are in now.
Mhm.
So, it was different back then, yeah. So, like, the standard of the top guys was always great, but the rest of the guys weren't generally on as much. Whereas now, everyone in the shows, in majority, bar a few, they're in good shape. I have to say that. Like
Yeah.
maybe they're spread out among more classes.
No, I would say
But yeah, that's what I got
I
into.
would say at
Yeah.
both shows we did this year, so Limerick and Derry, I would say look, every class had at least 80% of the competitors were in shape,
Yeah, it's great.
if
It
not
was
higher.
great. So how did you get into bodybuilding? What was your
Yeah,
exposure
so
to
I
it? Kind
actually
of
I started up when I was just about to turn 17, but I only joined for reason I just wanted to strengthen my legs because I was mad into playing soccer back then.
okay. Yeah,
So I
yeah.
was mad into soccer and I was really skinny. I was actually 6 foot around that age, but I was only 68 kilos. 68. So I was real
Jeez.
skinny. I was under eating like mad. I'd have like a small bowl of oats for breakfast and then like a sandwich for lunch and then another sandwich for dinner. And that'd be me done for the day. So
Yeah,
just no appetite. But basically, yeah, the first year I trained in the gym, all I did, I literally just trained legs. Like, but I didn't train them. I just did like high reps on like every leg machine. That was the training.
yeah,
So I didn't know what I was
yeah.
doing. And then the other
I
thing I
did
would
that.
do, I would just run on the treadmill.
Yeah,
But then
okay.
after like nearly a full year of doing that, I was like, let me actually try use some of the other stuff and see if I like it. So I actually got a split off one of my friends. He was a good bit older than me. I think, yeah, I was 17 at the time. He must have been like 23 or 24. Just
Mhm.
knew him from the gym, and he just wrote me out a split. I think it was like a high volume push pull legs. Probably not the best for beginners because it was really high volume. Was doing
Yeah,
like
yeah,
20 sets per chest per workout. But no, I really enjoyed it and I was like, look, I'm gaining size. I consciously I was like trying to eat more. And I think from that point, when I actually started doing the push pull legs and eating more, the year I did that, after a full year, I went from 68 to 85.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it
Okay,
was good gains,
nice.
especially for
Actually,
obviously
that
being natty as well at the time.
that's a funny thing. I actually forgot to talk about that. So
Mhm.
when I started training, I was 55 kilos.
Oh
I
yeah.
was probably like I'm only 5'5" for
Yeah.
people wondering. Like I'm not a tall guy. I was
You
probably
were
not too.
you were basically Megan's height back then.
Yeah. I'm 5'5", but I'm probably a bit shorter back then. I was 55. Now naturally, I got up to 65,
Yeah.
and then I remember very well. I got up to 75. And then I think hit 79. And then when I hopped on a bit of stuff at 18,
Mm.
I got up to 84. And
Okay.
then I kind of came down. I kind of came down a bit, I remember. But after the shows, you see, the first show I did, I came off, like I'll talk about it. I mean, I remember like I was living at home. Um, my my gear was found after show number one, let's just
Oh, yeah.
say,
Just
and I had to do
confiscated.
show number two at the end of the month off everything.
Yeah.
So I came right down to like 70. I mean, I competed at what, like 69 kilos, I'll say. I wasn't peeled,
Yeah.
but in the off season, but yeah, I came off everything. So obviously, I don't know, I probably bulked up after that show once I gained a bit of body fat to like 72 or something. But after that, there was one summer, and yeah, I went hard. I remember I was off everything for like the whole summer. In 2014, it was grand. And then after that, 2015, I went hard, and we went from 78 kilos to 94 kilos in the space of about 5 months.
Okay.
Uh,
Big game.
yeah, and I remember the blood pressure was quite like obviously like naturally, I'd be around, I don't know, 60 kilos if I didn't train. So, like, it was a lot of weight. So I remember the blood pressure was terrible. I was getting nosebleeds like in work and
Yeah.
training and everything. It was pretty bad. The cycle it was hard. I remember I went hard for it. It was like 500 to 800 tests. Like we would go
Yeah.
up and down. It was 500 to 800 deca up and down, orals on top of that.
Mm.
And CJC, like we were taking CJC with DAC, GHRP6 for the appetite, and I was in college at the same time, and I was working around college. So when I started, it was a very different ball game. We kind of used ourselves and tested ourselves, whereas now it's very different. I would rather let Stephen kind of tell me what to do, to be honest, because
Yeah.
I don't want to kind of, as I said, bodybuilding is a sport of toleration. I'm sure you've heard people talk about being hyper responders.
Oh, for sure.
Um, I, yeah. Now
Basically,
a
Kevin
big thing
Durant
about
and people like that.
exactly, exactly, and then but the other side of it is toleration of the drugs. So
Yeah.
how well can your body process them? So I've been blessed that this usage I did as a junior because it was like I'm not going to say you don't have to take a lot to grow. Like probably wasn't any more than any like big pro was doing. Like it wasn't as much as them, like some of them, but like back then it was a lot for like compared to what we're doing now. I'd say it was like
Yeah.
maybe three times what we're using now, and it worked.
Mm.
But so that's how I got into it, and I had two friends who competed.
Okay.
So Aaron, yeah, so I'll tell you. So I was 15, and in 3 years ahead of me, there was a guy called Christian McAlinden in school. We're in the same school.
Hmm.
He went on to win the NABA Mr. Ireland in 2018, and he actually helped guide me for my first show. And
Sure.
then in 2013, he was always a really close friend of mine. We still talk like every week. Like we're quite tight, It's like he'd be like even when we don't talk for years, like let's say like a month, not years, but like we haven't seen each other at shows because he took a big break away from competing. Now, if
Oh,
anyone wants to like look him up, like I'm sure there might be some Nava videos on YouTube or something, but he was kind of just before the social media coverage, so like it's unfortunate in that sense. But he's competing next year. He's probably going to win some shows,
oh, brilliant.
and
Good
people are
return.
sleeping on him. But
Yeah.
where I'm going with this is, he helped me a little bit. He was someone I looked up to, and then my friend Aaron Power, who actually won the NABA Class 2
Mhm.
last year in Nava in the May show in Belfast. That was his
Yeah.
first official show. And I'll tell you his backstory. He was a genetic hyper responder like Levroni. I have never seen anybody grow. And you can go and ask people who know him. His responsiveness to gear and training was it's next level. It's
Yeah.
just he just never competed. And I love the guy. Like he's one of my best friends.
Mhm.
Like we're from the same area. Like we live 10 minutes away from each other. So having like him, I used to have to train with him for fucking 10 years, like 15 years, and he didn't compete, right? But
Yeah.
he would always train with me when I was doing my shows. So I was always kind of like as a young guy, you're going to compare yourself against the next best thing, right?
Yeah.
And it
For
just so happened that the next best thing is some of the best legs in the country. So it took me a long time to kind of build up to a level where I am genuinely now competitive. But back then, yeah, that fired me up. So like obviously me and him used to train together. It's a shame he didn't compete as a junior back then. Like he did one show up in Belfast. He was going to do the Worlds. He had to do regional basically. So he did the Northern Ireland ABBA, didn't officially place. He was going to do the Worlds, and it was in Dublin. Didn't do it. And yeah, it's just unfortunate. He was going to compete last year or this year
yeah.
in the shows we did, but
Yeah.
he didn't end up doing it. But yeah, so those two guys kind of guided me for the first year, Ola, actually. So I was very lucky that I had some great, like as I said, great friends of mine who happened to be really good bodybuilders
Yeah. I
in my
mean,
area.
it's
Honestly, lucky the
basically
one in school,
it's
you know.
basically what happened with me and Steve and yourself. You guys kind of guided me for my first season.
Yeah, it's a funny one, right? Because like I've kind of gotten a bit more knowledge now than I have had back then. Like back then, I thought I knew it all.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was weird. It was like, um, I also trained on my own a lot of times. If it wasn't with Aaron, it was more than likely on my own back then. I didn't.
Yeah.
Wicklow was kind of away from the bodybuilding scene, but now everyone's kind of connected, which is great. But yeah, let's go on to the next question because we kind of
Yeah.
diverted there.
Sure. So the next one is from Paul again. So it's
Cool.
has bodybuilding gone too soft? No real
Ooh,
passion for winning. Too friendly? Question mark.
I would, I would say, I would say there's a certain way to answer that. And I mean that in the best sense, right? So obviously, depends what way you're coming out. Look, I've coached a couple of people in the past. Um, I've obviously coached myself for shows. I've always wanted to win. Like I never won up until this year. Do I believe that the passion is kind of gone? It's a weird one. I think back then when I was kind of getting into it, like people, not that they had more passion, it's just that the people that knew about it were, it was a niche thing.
Yeah.
Now I think a lot more people are getting into it, but they're not fully prepared for it. So when
Yeah.
they kind of do it, they might have a bad experience, they might not enjoy it because they don't really think it's going to be as tough as it is. And
Yeah.
then they think when they lose, like, oh shit, it's because of this, that, and that, and the other. It's like, no, you just didn't do what you had to do properly. And that's not a new thing. I can tell you straight up, like 10 years ago, there was girls, like there was a few, like there was a few like influencers in the Irish scene, like who I can't even remember their bloody names because they're so irrelevant. But in the bodybuilding scene now, but like I remember they did these huge rants on why females competing is terrible. And even on the male side, there's a few guys who just, oh, mental health issues and all this stuff. Like bodybuilding created all these things for me. It's like, yeah, I do think like people are coming at it from the wrong angle. Like they might not know what it really entails. Like, is it going to play into your mental health? It can.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it can. I mean, if you're not prepared for like feeling just low energy and having no libido, which I'll be honest, this prep was the first one that had no libido. Every other prep, because I wasn't lean enough, my libido was grand. I was doing my business the
Tank.
week before
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
But now, yeah, people like that, like I knew some lads who did preps and they never competed again because of, certain things. And then obviously the drug side of it, like some people do respond to the drugs um in their mind. like they might psychologically get affected. Like, have you ever heard of Superman complex?
Yeah, I mean it depends what compound, but I've seen it happen a few times.
Yeah,
Especially with
I've
the
never.
19 Norse. I think 19 Norse seem to affect people the most, so like Deca or Tren.
Did you ever find you got affected? This actually off topic, but did you ever find like that you got any mental kind of effect from taking any compound?
No, I don't think so.
No, you're like me. So obviously, like where I'm going with this is,
I think it's because
yeah.
we're both naturally kind of chilled out and kind of laid back.
Oh, I
So I
tell
don't.
people this. I used to be a lot more angry. I mean, bodybuilding calmed me down, and then I suppose being stoned half the time as well calmed me down a fair bit
Yeah,
as
that
well over the last
probably
while.
helped.
But I would say going into Paul's question, I think the people who still want to win. Like that hasn't changed. It's
Yeah,
always going to be the same. Like we're going to get guys who want to compete and turn pro, and the cream always rises. I just find that people are more exposed to it, and therefore you're going to get people who like I don't know how to say it, man. Like I mean, like I've competed against guys who looked like there was one. It was weird at the shows, right? Like you had some guys who looked phenomenal, but then you had some guys when they're off. It wasn't as if they were off like by like a couple of weeks. It's like there was a couple of off seasoners on stage, and
yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Is you get those guys because
yeah.
maybe they just don't understand it. So yeah, Paul, great question. What do you think, Cuba?
Look, I think to answer the question, in terms of too soft, yeah, look, maybe it has gone too soft, but I think, well, I think it doesn't
Do you
really
think the
relate
training
to
is gone
soft because
soft, Jack?
I think everyone's doing the same thing now.
Yeah,
Like, there's no individuality in it anymore. Like,
but
an
you think
example for that is training styles. Look at the top three from the 2000s. Look at Jay, Ronnie, and Phil. Three completely different training styles.
yeah,
Look at their diets. Three completely different diets. But the end result is they're both still the best three bodybuilders in the world at the time. So
yeah,
like
okay, different.
I think people are just like doing the minimum now and trying to get the maximum out of it instead of trying to do the max to get the max out of it.
So you want like I'll tell you now, like I work so people who don't know, I work in a gym full time. I've worked in the fitness industry now since COVID. I used to manage a gym for years. So I have seen this new training firsthand. And now that I'm PTing in a new gym as well, I
Oh, the
see firsthand
science-based crowd.
all the science-based crowd. And it's like they're lifting this way and that way, and they're doing this and that. It's like they're information overloading themselves. But what just happened to going in and learning how to lift your compounds, which I did,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
learn some
heavy
good
squats,
machine
heavy benches. Keep it
and
simple.
just follow the routine, eat some food, and put on some weight because you're not gonna grow one rep in your fucking bench press every day. I'll tell you that. Like, and I've seen guys almost guillotine themselves, like, and then I've seen people like hurt themselves, and it's just dangerous. Like some of the training they're doing is like they're overloading. Like, what's the thing? The Keenan flat.
Yeah, the
You know
fucking
the
thing
thing?
with the putting the cuff on the elbow and pulling it
Yeah,
out.
you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love cable exercises. Like, I have to work around injuries now. And
Yeah.
that's just from wear and tear, like, through the past few years. Like, my knee is. Now, I still train legs hard. That's actually the one place where my knee feels good is when I'm training legs, funnily enough. So, but I do think if you do those exercises that the guys are doing, you just do them correctly along with the other stuff. Yeah, it's great. Like, I love doing cable rows with the bench sitting down and doing the squeeze. But I've also done bent over barbells. I've also done chest
Build
squat
up
or
the
T-bar.
base. You build up your base.
Yeah,
Basically,
yeah.
we build up our
Um,
base from heavy compounds and then we
so I think the
refine it.
training, I do think the training has gotten soft, absolutely.
Oh,
And
I think
I think
training has
every
gone
time,
ridiculously soft. I mean, I see guys doing one working set per exercise. And
so I train,
they're doing like an upper lower split and they're doing one working set for like eight exercises and then they're just
Well,
leaving the
yeah,
gym after 40 minutes.
but this is I push some of my 50-year-old women harder than my and my 60-year-old clients harder than the younger lads train themselves. Like they're wearing tight tops, they're sitting there thinking they're the bee's knees. Now, I'll tell you, like it's funny that you have to wear a tight top to show the illusion that you have a fucking ounce of muscle. Like when you're
Yeah.
big, you're fucking big. Like people know you're big. Like it doesn't matter what you wear. Like
And the
you
funny
know,
thing
like Joe
is,
Biden.
well, the funny thing is, the bigger guys usually wear the oversized shit.
I was saying that to my client today. I was literally saying to her, yeah, I usually cover up now, even when I wear a t-shirt when I get warm. That's about it. But
Yeah. But
yeah, I
maybe
usually
to
train
answer
in
your
big.
question, Paul, I think
Yeah,
people are doing too much, like they're carbon copies of each other. And I mean this more like in the bodybuilding world, like prepping world. Like everyone's
yeah.
following the same diet, everyone's doing the same protocol, everyone's doing the same training.
They're doing a lot of
They're doing things
infield.
wrong in the sense of people are there doing a Arimidex 12 weeks out. They're not giving their body a chance to grow into the show because they're basically killing their estrogen 3 months away from the show. They're doing the same cycles, they're training.
Yeah,
Well, I don't think
people
they're
get
up
into
against
it
them.
without the right guidance, though, man. It's like I find like I know people who jumped into shows like even natural guys, and they just do not know that you have to diet longer. You're gonna have to take time
Yeah.
to get
I
shredded.
mean,
Like
look, I think if
little
you're
things,
doing your first prep, you need at least 16 weeks.
if not more.
Yeah.
And that's if you're in hand. That's if you're in that kind of area. But I think it's gotten yeah. So Paul, it's gotten soft. But the guys who want to do well in it will always be there. It's just there's more people doing it, so therefore, yeah, unfortunately, it's gotten a bit diluted.
Yep.
What's the next question?
Right, we'll finish off with Steve's for tonight. We're running nearly an hour and a half, which is great for the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
episode.
yeah.
Plenty
We'll
to
keep the other one. Actually, we'll answer Steve's, and I think my friend Aaron sent one in on WhatsApp. I must have screenshotted that.
I think
I
so.
can't remember what.
Anyway,
Yeah,
Steve's was how did I find my first prep and how did you find your comeback prep? I'll just
absolutely,
say
man.
I found
You go
mine.
first.
Look, I found it a lot easier than people made it out to be honest. Like it's not being like cocky or like whatever. I just like people were there telling me you're gonna feel like death every day. You won't be able to do anything. You'll just basically
They're
be like
telling you the
you'll
usual.
basically be like wasting away in your bed when you're not like doing cardio and training and you're gonna be
Yeah,
hungry all the time. I didn't feel
yeah.
any of that until I was like 5 or 6 weeks out.
Yeah, to be fair, you and
And
me were
even
talking a
then,
couple of
it,
weeks
it,
ago.
it only got like uncomfortable in the last 3 weeks for me.
Yeah, you and me were talking every week, and yeah, you seem fairly chipper to be honest, man. I mean, like I
Yeah,
remember, like I was very surprised. Like I kind of knew what to expect,
yeah.
but yeah, overall, was your experience good then? Like you really enjoyed it,
No,
I assume.
I loved it. Yeah, I mean, some days the only thing I found tough, to be honest, with the whole thing was time management. Because I don't know if you had the same thing, but like some days I had to do like 18,000 steps. That's like 4 hours of walking. So just to
And
fit that
you
into a
know,
day, like while you're working.
yeah, crazy, man. It was that was it. That was the only issue, but on your end then. So for your first prep, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
And
I
then
think,
obviously,
look, obviously there was a bit of fatigue near the end with training and there was hunger. But like I knew that coming in, so I knew that would be a thing.
and I
So I
suppose like
knew,
mentally,
like, yeah, so
were you
the way to recap it was like, yeah, I found it hard in some parts, mostly towards the end. But I would say if we were to go on like a 1 to 10 difficulty scale, I would say it was like a 5.5 or a 6 out of 10.
yeah, that's not bad. You know, that's pretty good physically. I mean, I suppose mentally on a different scale, like going into your first shows, were you nervous? Like that's more what I'd be talking about when
Oh
you're doing a
yeah.
big event.
Yeah, like
Anxiety or nervous? 'Cause obviously I was with you, but like it's hard to like
look. Look, I'll answer this and I'll say I wasn't actually nervous going into both of them shows. I only got nervous when I found out there was no one in my class at the PCA
Okay,
because I knew I would
okay,
have to go out there and do the mandatories by myself, which is a bit
yeah,
odd.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
To be
yeah, and
honest, in
obviously,
Limerick, the PCA, me being by myself, really helped me in Limerick because I was really confident the week after. Because I had that
yeah,
experience of like, I knew in my head, like, everyone's watching you only, but there's supposed to be like five guys in your class, but now everyone's
yeah,
eyes are on you. So you need to actually
yeah,
make
yeah.
sure you nail it.
But you won against some dudes in Limerick. You won like two out of three
Yeah,
classes.
I won true novice in classic against two guys, and I won juniors against one guy. And then
Yeah.
in the open class, I came second to Mike, and then I beat Richie.
Oh yeah, yeah,
He was third, I was second, and then Mike was
yeah,
first.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Mike
think there was a
Geary,
lot.
yeah.
There was a lot of more nerves in there. I would say there was like
All right.
I wouldn't say there was any nerves in Limerick because like at least there was
Yeah,
people in my class, and I had the
yeah.
experience from a week before.
I'll be honest, man. So I suppose my comeback, Steve. Um, yeah. So honestly, I kind of said to myself, right, like if I don't compete now, when I'm turning 30, I was 30, yeah. So I said if I
Yeah,
don't compete by the time I'm 30, and I'm 31 now, turned
yeah,
31 after literally the week after the muscle contest. But
brilliant.
um, yeah, it was just weird. It was weird because I I am so used to doing preps with having a massive off season. And I suppose a bit of background. I lived in Wicklow for 25 years, 26 years. Yeah.
Yeah,
I moved out to Mullingar to manage a gym in 21. And unfortunately, it was just a case of where I was so out of love with bodybuilding that I never had a good off season. I moved out to Longford then, literally to train in Longford and work in Mullingar because I had to do it, just or else I wouldn't train. And also, it was just a living situation that was unsustainable. So we moved out, and we've been here for 2 years. And then I started training, and you'll believe. So, you know the way some people coach up, and
yeah,
I kind of coach up. I'm not gonna lie, right? Like I've been either working on my own or I worked, as I said, I had Christian help me. This
mhm,
is a long answer, but I will get to the point. Uh, so I worked with Paul Morgan in 21, 22, and I just didn't adhere to it as best as I could. I wasn't in love with the sport. I just wasn't watching shows, so it lasted for about, I don't know, 6 months. Um, I went to Connor McGee, and then Connor McGee again. I've known Connor McGee for years,
mhm,
years. Like we've done various shows together, but never competed against each other
right.
because like I never won anything. But he was helping me. It was actually going good.
Hmm.
Until I'll tell you. So my test that I was using was fake. So
Then
I did my blood, and
problem.
for the first 4 months, 5 months, 3 months, whatever, of me and him training, I was like, my energy is still like, why am I growing? Why am I? Because we did a diet phase, right? We comp, and then we were gonna grow, and then
Yeah,
during the growing phase, it's like, why the fuck is my body weight going up? And it should have. I was eating over 4,000 calories. I was eating like stupid carbs, like,
yeah,
and it just wasn't going up. So after that, unfortunately, when I did manage to get some good tests, I can get my bloods back normal. Um, yeah, just life kind of hitting the balls. Like outside of bodybuilding, like I just had to. I didn't have the finances to do it. Number one, and the work situation wasn't really productive for it. Number two, and then yeah, I just didn't. I just stopped training. I remember I came out of 6 months before I met you, man. I was like training once a week, as I said. Some
yeah,
weeks maybe four times a week. I hurt my knee in bed. I literally rolled over in my sleep or something, torqued my knee, kind of fucked up all the ligaments in it again. Like
yeah.
when I was like 17. So I just stopped training after that for a bit
Yeah.
in Mullingar too. But in Limerick, sorry, in Longford last year. Yeah, so 6 months before the prep, I was in and out of the gym. My friend Aaron was gonna make his comeback in. He did the May show, and he was gonna do the muscle contest
Oh yeah,
in
very.
Dublin.
Yeah.
So I was gonna go to watch to support him.
Hmm.
Now he didn't end up doing the show, but I ended up going anyway. And me and Steve were kind of talking. I was like, I talked to him the week before. Like me and Steve and the Voids kind of talk, like a voice
Yeah.
respect of what he's done. And I did ask him before I worked with Connor to work with him, but he wasn't taking on new clients then. He was still working in the bank.
Yeah.
And then I believe in that intermission, in us kind of interacting, he started taking on people. So I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna shoot him a message."
Hmm.
And yeah, we met up in May. I think 2 weeks after the muscle contest. Um, and it kicked off. Yeah, it was Jesus Christ, man. It was a short like transformation. Like I am still shocked.
Yeah, you
At,
totally morphed on that prep. It was crazy.
yeah, yeah, and even now it's like, but even the shape and quality of the physique has changed. Like I was
Mhm.
82 kilos at the start of the prep, and
And now you're
I'm
basically
80.
82 again, but it's much tidier and
Yeah, 84. I think I'm like 84 now, but like that
okay.
picture was from 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so it's like
Um,
83. I mean, in between 83, 84. The aim was, but either way, um, the point is like during the prep, I honestly didn't know how it was going to go.
yeah.
It was literally taking it week by week, and I was just like, am I gonna have the size? Because we were doing a total recomp. I was so like my I competed at 80 kilos on stage as a junior, just for
Right.
reference. I wasn't peeled, but I thought like, oh, I have to be big.
Mhm.
And I ended up, yeah, we defeated all the way down to 72 at one point before Derry.
Yeah.
I think we carved up to maybe moderately for Derry. Yeah, I mean, like very similar to you, man. It was really
Yeah.
enjoyable because I actually had to grow into the prep for the first bit, and then the diet down was hard. It did. I'm not gonna lie, like it was fucking tough. Um, because I just wasn't used to it. Like I knew what to expect, but
But
I
it
obviously didn't
wasn't
put it
like
on the diet.
beforehand, you never really pushed for that last 6 weeks. And
No,
this
like
time you
so for
actually had to do it.
but but the way I pushed, and I actually felt worse in my other preps than I did this prep because it was done right. And it was
And
on a third of the
you had that second set of eyes. So it made
and
you more
and
calm as well.
and the drugs. Let's talk about the drugs. Like obviously for you, you started off using minimum amount for maximum effect.
Yeah.
I was taking like Tran, Winstrol, Halo, the usual shebang that people take in my few other preps
Yeah.
in 20, like even when I prepped myself in 2019, like for my last three shows of that season, that was all me, my
Yeah.
cycle. And this time it was a third of the gear, and it was such a better look. And I was just like, huh. So honestly, this prep kind of reinvigorated me. It kind of brought me back into the bodybuilding world. And yeah, I mean, that's what I have Steve to thank for that. Like, I remember being really emotional after the show. Like, I had like, yeah, after Derry, it was like Derry was nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was nervous going into Derry. I just didn't want to shit the bed. But because we didn't know the guys, I wasn't too nervous. Like, it
Yeah.
was fun. But Limerick, my dad was there. Um, all the guys I competed with, every single like I knew the majority of the guys there. So
Mhm.
yeah, I just wanted to look good, and yeah, we did that. And then Cork was weird because we didn't know if it was going on. So we actually came
Yeah.
off everything for 2 weeks, and then when we figured, yeah, it's going ahead, Steve asked me, "What do you have?" I was like, "I have some Master on. I have some Super Joe." And yeah, that's what we did. We ran 150 mgs of Master on into Cork every day, every second day, I believe, and some super draw like around the training.
Yeah.
And the water loading thing, man, that was totally new to me. I've done water
It's
loading in the past.
crazy.
I I've done preps with diuretics. I've done preps without diuretics. Like my other favorite look was as a junior, and I kind of peaked good. I went to a sauna and I didn't use any diuretics. And yeah, I mean, I have some good pictures from me back then, but um, where I go with this prep is yeah, the look was so good considering, like for all of us, considering we didn't use any diuretics, and that was like the
Yeah,
water loading was a lot of work.
all things considered with the look, everyone was running a low amount of A's on this prep.
Yeah, it was great.
And
Yeah, it was great fun. I enjoyed
everyone
it. I mean,
everyone
now,
kind of look, I would say everyone kind of grew and got leaner into the show,
yeah, I
which
mean, like
I
I
mean
suppose
Steve
the
is the
one thing about
best. Steve's the best in Ireland for doing that. You don't see any other coach doing it.
no, it's very different. Like the way he could does it, like it's definitely a lot milder than what I thought it was gonna be. Dude, I'll tell you straight up, I have fucking insulin in the fridge we haven't touched, and this prep was the first time I've touched growth hormone
Hmm.
ever, and it was only two I used, but I do think it helps with the
Oh, for
condition.
sure with the
And
lipolysis. Yeah.
then, and now I've only started. I suppose the one thing that's different now is leading from that prep to answer Steve's question even more. I've never done a rebound. I've never kind of kept training. Usually I hurt myself and go off partying or something, or just go
Yeah.
off eating food or
Hmm.
doing whatever. Now we're going into the next season. So now it's a case of we're growing into the shows again. And I
Yeah.
kind of said, it's actually, I enjoy this because there's set goals and we can improve show by show. That's the
Yeah.
main aim. Like Steve said to me, and this, I'll tell you, I mean, I my first show, I think for Derry, I was probably mid 70s. Do you remember we weighed ourselves in the apartments in Derry
Hmm.
in the evening that day when we were posing for Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. What did you weigh back then? Were you probably like
Yeah.
105 or
For
110? You
dairy,
were
I was
probably
a touch
heavier back
lighter.
then.
So dairy, I
Oh,
was
really?
about 104 and a half.
Yeah, and same with me. I was probably around 74 because we were carving up, so it's probably 70. We were 76 that night, but I know I was probably 74 in the morning or
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever. And, yeah, and then for Limerick, I was 76, weighed in 76 in close.
Yeah.
And then for Cork, I weighed in at 79.9 in close.
I thought.
So you get what I'm saying? So we actually got heavier.
Yeah.
And for Cork, the condition wasn't as like, obviously we were on less drugs. So it
Mm.
was kind of like, oh shit, let's just come in full and lean. So I kind of say, if, and Steve said, if I can come in, like do what we're doing now, come in and compete in the low 80s, like weigh in the low 80s, we'll be laughing. Same with you. I mean, it'll probably be, you don't know any different. You see, for me, I'm just like, I know how to do this wrong.
Mm.
And to see you doing it right is very satisfying because I know what it's like to do it right now, right? And it feels
Yeah.
good.
But it took
But
you a long time to nail it down.
it took me
But
two,
now
three,
you know the
yeah,
formula, which is great.
yeah. And now it's like, but I'm also realistic with the goals, just to
Mm.
finish off, I suppose. Like as I said, when I was younger, I was so exuberant, like saying, "Oh, I'm gonna be the next 2 and 2, like fucking Mr. Olympia."
Yeah, thinking you'll be
I just want,
problem like
no, I
you.
want to develop the physique. I just want to develop the physique, and look, if we get a good run at these next shows, we'll go from there. But
Yeah.
yeah, obviously we have a few questions we can carry on into next week, which will be good.
Yeah, for sure. We'll wrap it up for today just because I want to keep it
Yeah.
under two
Do you
hours.
have anything to finish
But
off, or are you happy enough? Like anyone you want to mention, like any sponsors or any,
yeah, so
any
yeah,
training spots?
if you need any coaching, make sure to reach out to me or Megan, MK Excellence. Coaching
Hmm.
spots still available. Get onto before the New Year's.
Yeah.
Also, you probably want to shout out Irish Iron as well.
Yeah, well, I look. Obviously, I'm prepping a few guys now. I'm prepping one guy, and he will be doing a show at some point next year. He's a novice competitor. He has competed before in 2017 with me. And then I'm currently helping a girl who's going to be doing. natural wellness
Oh yeah, the
next
wellness
year
are
as well.
brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I have two athletes I'm hoping to get on stage.
yeah,
And then apart from that, I train lifestyle. And if you're in the Longford area, I am a fully qualified. I'm not just an online coach. I'm fully qualified. Like I do,
yeah.
that's my day
Make
to
sure
day
to if
practical.
you're living around there, make sure to reach out for
Yeah.
one-to-one. They can offer
Check
that as well.
into like check Irish Iron on the Instagram, Irish Iron Coach, Irish Iron Coaching, or just reach out to Owen Vahi, my personal page, or pop into Snap Fitness in Longford and grab a business card. But online coaching, yeah, I do that for lifestyle as well. I have one fella as well who's a fireman. I was helping him out with his fitness for a fire testing.
Very,
So that was kind of fun. Like that was performance based.
yeah,
So yeah, but like, look, I'm a full-time personal trainer, so that's my bread and butter at the minute.
yeah.
And
I'm
then
just
obviously
doing the
use your
online
coaching
coaching with
for
my fiance at the minute.
yeah,
So if you're looking to get started, I suppose even before the new year or just after New Year, you can reach out to me or Megan and we'll answer you back. And also, reminder that the Brown twins are on tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that. It'll be a good
yeah,
interview, similar kind of layout as Matthew last week. So I'm really looking
yeah.
forward
That was
to
great. I
it.
watched that full interview actually. That was quite good.
Oh, thanks.
So it'll be nice to see these other fellas.
No,
And
it'll be
yeah,
fun to meet a few of them.
anyone whose questions we didn't answer, I do apologize. We kind of
But
diverted
we'll
like
get
big
back to
time.
everyone for next week
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
still have them. I think
100%.
we only missed
100%.
about one or two. It's just I want to keep
Yeah,
them.
and to be fair, a lot of them did overlap as well. So
Yeah, there was a
for
lot of
sure.
overlap, especially with
Yeah.
like physique questions and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
anyway,
But
thanks
look,
everybody for tuning in. Episode one wrapped up of Vindication with the Colossus with your host Kuba Koncevic and co-host guest Owen Vaki. And we shall see you next Friday.
all right. See you out. Bye bye.